Just 7 weeks away from the midterm elections. Most elections this year will come down to a Democrat or a Republican candidate, but hoping to change that in the future is the brand new Forward Party. It was founded by former Democrat Andrew Yang and former Republican Florida Congressman David Jolly. Now, the party's on track to have ballot access in 29 states next year. Joining us more to talk about what the Forward Party is and more about the huge kickoff event is a familiar face in Houston, the Texas Forward Party co-chair, Bill King. Mr. King, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. How are you guys doing this morning?
We are great. Thanks for joining us. I know this is a big weekend for you guys, this Forward Party national kickoff. Can you tell folks about the platform and what you hope to accomplish?
Yeah, so the people that are joining the Forward Party are tired of all the wrangling back and forth between the two parties, the ideological extremism, the fighting, the name calling. The Forwardists want to get government back to solving the real problems, you know, to do some pragmatic problem solving, return some common sense to government, and also some civility. Just, you know, we had here not long ago, the governor and the president in public were calling each other Neanderthals. We just kind of begin to accept that kind of behavior. We don't put up with this kind of stuff out of our children. Why would we put it up with our political leaders?
So, I mean, I guess in your opinion, was it easier to create this new platform as opposed to, you know, try to fix what was wrong with the other two?
Yeah, the problem is because of the primaries and some other factors, the two parties have become more and more ideologically extreme over the last 3 decades. And as they have, by the way, they've become more and more unpopular with the American people. You know, today in Texas, only 14% of Texans view the Democratic Party as very favorable, and only 10% view the Republican Party as very favorable. There's a big chunk of the middle America, sort of common sense Americans and Texans, about 60%, that really don't like either one of these parties.
So I guess those numbers keep you, I guess, hopeful that this party will succeed or be able to stick around or maybe make a dent in voting or however that works.
Well, we are, and I think this convention coming up this weekend is an example. When we originally scheduled this 2 or 3 months ago, we thought maybe 200 or 300 people would show up. Registrations yesterday went over 1,300 people, and they're coming from 46 different counties around the state of Texas. Just unbelievable outpouring of support from people wanting an alternative to the two parties.
How does age play a role in this? I mean, is it easier to get young folks enthusiastic about change? I mean, how does this work?
It's pretty much across the age demographic. The polling shows that younger people are less identified with one of the two political parties than older people are. Also, Latinos in particular are very dissatisfied with both political parties. And so I think that in Texas especially, we have a real opportunity to grow the party.
So how do you address the real polarizing issues? I mean, if there is a right and a left and two opposite ideas, I mean, you guys going to try to sort of solve these issues and then take them to the ballot box? How do you merge the two?
So let me just give you an example of abortion, for example, which is everybody says is the most polarizing. The country's divided into 2 armed camps and all this. But when you look at the actual polling on abortion, that's not the case at all. You've got about 10% of the American people think you ought to never be able to have an abortion under any circumstances. About almost 20%, you can have an abortion anytime without any restrictions whatsoever. 70% of the American people have a view that, well, early on in the abortion or in the pregnancy, you know, it kind of ought to be up to the woman. But as you get further along, you need to have some good reason for having an abortion. That's where the overwhelming majority of the American people are. And it's the same way in issue after issue after issue. Common sense Americans understand that there's a middle road on almost all these issues. That middle road is never an alternative in the two existing political parties.
So I think I mentioned at the top you have 20-something candidates, 29 states at least, where you have ballot access. That's next year. Do you have any coming this November? And then when will you guys be in all 50 states?
Yeah, so we will not be on the ballot any place in 2022. We do plan to have 4 candidates in the 23 local elections in Texas. You know, those are nonpartisan elections, and so you won't have ballot access, but of course everybody knows what political party the candidates belong to, generally speaking. We plan to have ballot access in 24, so you'll see 4 candidates on the Texas ballot in 24. And we actually hope to have all 50 states by 2024. There's some, including Texas, that make it very difficult. You know, the one thing the two parties agree on is that they don't want any competition from anybody else.
So, I mean, based on the polling and the other data, it seems that there is a voting bloc in the center. Now, where are the candidates coming from? Are these new candidates that have arrived at these new political positions? Are some of you, I mean, obviously you guys have run for Republicans or Democratic parties before. So how do you leave those parties and now come to this new one and saying, look, we're gonna leave the decisiveness alone and leave it behind and actually show that to the new voter?
I think it'll be a combination of new people getting into running for office and some previous candidates that'll decide to make the switch. You know, the last time this was done successfully was in the 1850s with the creation of the Republican Party. At that time, the two dominant parties were the Democrats and the Whigs. And what you had there were a lot of Whig politicians left the Whig Party and joined the Republican Party, some Democrats. There were a lot of new people. And that party went from being formed in 1854 to electing Abraham Lincoln as president only 6 years later. So we have a historical precedent for this being done.
The cynic would say you're just trying to spoil Republican plans or spoil Democrat plans. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I'm going to spoil both of them. Of course, that's what we're trying to do. You know, it's funny. Whenever I talk to a Democrat, they say, oh, you know, all you're going to do is help the Republicans and hurt Democrats. Every time I talk to a Republican, they say, oh, you know, you're just going to help Democrats and hurt Republicans. And it sort of betrays that they understand how fundamentally unpopular their appeal is to the American people because they're convinced that all the defections are going to come from their side. The truth of the matter is what we're seeing right now, first of all, half the people in America don't like either party. And so those people are naturally potential recruits for us. But of the people that are coming from a partisan background, we're seeing about an equal number of Republicans and Democrats that say, I just can't stand this anymore. I mean, look, when the Texas Republican Party votes to secede from the Union, you know, there's a lot of Republicans that don't agree that. When the Texas Democratic Party says, you know, we need to end fracking in Texas, there's a lot of Democrats that don't agree with that.
A couple updates here for some milestones reached at 8:42 a.m.
I apologize, Bill. We're getting a little audio, I believe, from
oxygen,
NASA sneaking in here. They've been doing a test of their Artemis mission, and I think that's what's sneaking into our feed, and we're going to try to get rid of it. I know. Hey, I think it's gone. I apologize for the interruption.
No problem.
If you're still with us, tell us about the event this week, because it is in Houston, but it's your national kickoff event at Bayou Event Center.
Right. Yeah, we had originally scheduled this as just our Texas convention. And actually, this was scheduled before the merger of the three groups that came together to form the new Forward Party. And since we already had the planning in place, they decided to be a great place to do the national kickoff. We've got, I think, about 1,300 people registered as of this morning. We have people coming from 46 counties around Texas the last time I looked, and about a dozen states around the United States. So we're really excited about it. Andrew Yang's going to be here. Former Governor, New Jersey Governor Christy Todd Whitman, David Jolly, former Congressman Chris Bell, former local congressman here in Houston, is going to be on the podium. And I would encourage everybody, if you're tired, if you're just exhausted from this constant partisan warfare, ideological fighting, and you would like to get government back to actually solving problems like the grid and immigration, you know, come out this weekend and check it out. It's this Saturday in the afternoon. The program starts about 1 o'clock. It'd be a great way to spend your Saturday afternoon.
Bill, we really appreciate your time. Bill King, Texas Forward Party co-chair, former candidate for mayor in Houston, among other things. It's always good to see you, sir.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.
You too, and good luck this weekend. Again, the Forward Party hosts its big kickoff event. It's a national kickoff event, but it's here in Texas, Bayou City Event Center at 12:30 in the afternoon.